Dear learners, we'll study about the definition of public administration as given by James Davis, wherein public administration is best identified with executive branch of a government, wherein the executive branch is the branch which is responsible for enforcing the laws, implementing policies, and execution of the plans. It is about running the day-to-day affairs of the state. The executive branch is the structure, specific structure of a government, rather than being a vague or a broad concept. As per James Davis, the public administration can be best identified with the executive branch of the government. It is about the executive branch which performs the administrative task, enforce regulations, deliver the public services, and manage the resources. It ensure compliance with the government rules. Executive branch is about which is executing what the legislature has given for the purpose of citizens. Executive branch is a service delivery mechanism wherein public welfare programs, health services, education, infrastructure are all run by the executive agencies. Therefore, it is about the continuity and the leadership which the executive government ensures stability and the ongoing governance. Wherein this definition is about identification. James W. Davis has identified public administration with the executive branch of a government wherein public administration is equated with the specific structure of the government rather than being a vague or a broad term. The executive branch is the branch which is responsible for enforcing the laws, implementing policies, running the day to day affairs of a state, and focus on the administrative machinery which makes the government about decisions operational. The branch which makes the decisions of the government operation into practice. Wherein this can be expanded as public administration is equal to executive branch. Public administration is not dispersed across all the arms of government, but it is particularly concentrated in the executive machinery, wherein it highlights that legislature frames the laws and judiciary interprets them. The legislative branch of the government it frames the laws, makes the laws, and the judiciary branch of the government interprets that laws, but the executive branch ensures that all those flaws are translated into action. Therefore, as per Davis, public administration can be identified with that executive branch of the government which implements, translates the laws into action. The executive branch performs the administrative task, enforcing the regulations, delivering the public services, and managing the resources and ensuring that the compliances with the government rules are made. Organizational and institutional structure. Ministries, department, agencies, and field level bureaucrats, they are all under the executive branch, which forms the core of the public administration. The departments, the governmental departments, the ministries, and the bureaucrats, the bureaucracies are all under this executive branch of a government, and therefore public administration is best identified with these organizational structures of the executive branch. The relationship with the broader goals of the public service, public welfare, and government operations. That is, when this definition is applied to the government operations, then it is about the law enforcement and policy execution. This ensures that legislature envisions the legislator what they have thought, it reaches the citizens in practice. Delivery of service, public welfare programs, health services, education, infrastructure, they all are run by the executive agencies. Therefore, it is about the service delivery. Administrative continuity. When the political leadership changes after the conducting elections, when there is a change, if change occurs, then the executive branch, that is the civil service and departments, the bureaucracies ensures the stability and ongoing governance continuity for the welfare of public. Management of resources, because the executive manages the finances, the human resource, and the material resources to achieve the national goals. The executive branch, executive, is as the heart. Thus, the executive branch is the heart of the public administration, which ensures order, proper order, development, citizen welfare, aligning that directly with the broader objective of the government. This definition ensures effective performance of public duties. By associating public administration with the executive, it has given emphasis that the responsibility and accountability of this branch in carrying out the duties is ensured. It creates clarity of role, that is, legislature make laws, judiciary interprets, and thus the executive public administration executes them. It ensures that public services are delivered efficiently since all the administrative actions are centralized in the executive. It enforces the bureaucratic neutrality, and professionalism as the executive branch houses the permanent civil services. Therefore, it ensures the neutrality and professionalism. The essence of the Davis definition is that the practical side of the governance, implementation, service delivery, and law enforcement is recognized as the core of the public administration. James Davis, though, has given a narrow view of the public administration by equating it with only and only the executive branch. It is valuable because it brings precision and focus to the public administration and to the subject of public administration. It highlights the action oriented nature of the governance and therefore separates the administration from the lawmaking and adjudicating, giving its own identity. It may be seen as limitation, but since the modern perspective argue that public administration also involves policy formulation, advisory roles, collaboration, and a legislative judiciary. Therefore, James Davis has highlighted about the public administration as essentially the executive arm of the government, the machinery that enforces law, implements policies, and delivers the services, which ensures the effective governance by making the executive directly responsible for carrying out the public duties and aligning it with the broader goals of the government. Therefore, as a public administration, it is about the action oriented concept with the broader goals of government, that is the law and order, welfare, and the development. The executive branch of the government, wherein at various level it is carried out at the national level, state level, local level, wherein the government carries out and enforces the laws, wherein each such level has a similar function to be performed but varies in scope, power, and structure. The executive branch at the central level, it is about the enforcing the national laws, implementing the laws passed by the national legislature, that's by the parliament. It is about the foreign policy and diplomacy, handles the treaties, international relations, and defense policies, defense and national security. It commands the armed forces, protects the national integrity, budgeting and economic management. It prepares the union budget, manages national economy, taxation, spending. The administrative appointments, that is the appointment of ministers, secretaries, ambassadors, judges, are made by the national executive. It is responsible, it is involved. Regulation of the national institution. It oversees the central ministries like health, education, finance, railway, crisis management. It is responsible for declaring national emergency, handle disaster, and policy implementation.